Hi folks, hope you guys are doing well as usual. I'm just giving you a weekly update, my weekly update on the Fiido L3, just to let you know how it's been this week and if I've had any problems and what I'm getting out of the battery, the range and stuff. So this is my first full week. It's a bit windy in this park, so hopefully the mic won't pick up too much wind. But it's I've had this bike now for exactly a week, and I've been riding it basically every single day to work and back. It's exactly 25 miles. I ride it right through London, from North London to South London, and it's 25 miles for the total round trip, 12.5 miles each way. And I haven't had any problems with the bike at all. It's had no punches or anything like that. The only problem or thing that's happened to the bike is basically I'm getting a bit of rubbing somewhere on the front brake here. So when you pull it, it makes a bit of a kind of rasping sound, not really a squeaking sound. So I'm thinking it's either I've looked at it, I haven't been able to see exactly what's wrong with it. It's not making any squeaking sounds or anything when I pull it. So I'm thinking there might be a bit of dust or a small stone stuck in the actual like between the brake pads or something. If you pull it a little bit, it'll start rasping a bit, and then when you pull it like more and actually make the pads engage with the disc, then it stops. So I'm not sure, but this is obviously it's a stock standard Fiido brake that I got with it, so it won't be the most expensive. You know, they wouldn't have put the most expensive brake on that. So I'm going to actually get some X-Tech HB, I think they're 100, so I'm going to fit those next week. So that's the only problem I've had with it this week. And the only other thing is when I got it, the horn didn't work. So I contacted Fiido, and the rep, the guy who sold it to me, said that he's going to post me out a new horn. The horn is actually integrated into the light, so you have to replace the whole thing. I've pushed the wires in and played around with them a bit. Sometimes, I think it's going to work, but it's not. The light works fine. It's just the horn doesn't work on it. It's never worked on it. But apart from that, I've had no other problems with this at all. The tires seem okay. I was a bit worried about them because I do quite a lot of mileage. I've done, in the space of the week that I've had this, I've done, over 200 miles in 1 week on this bike. And I don't think the back tire is going to last that long. I think I'll probably only get maybe a couple of thousand miles or off that before it actually, needs replacing. So I'll start buying a few replacement parts for it before I actually need to replace them, just so I've got them ready. The battery has done well. I charged it on Thursday night before I went to work, and it does take a long time to charge. The charger is only a 3 amp charger, I think, and it takes a good 5-6 hours. Like even if you run the battery down to halfway, it's still about 5-6 hours. I've never actually run the battery right down to zero, but I just did it almost. Let's see if it'll turn on. So it was, you can see let's see if I can, camera might not be able to show this, but the battery, I ran the battery down so it was actually flashing, signaling that it was almost out of power. And then it kind of, if you leave it for a bit and you don't use it, it'll come back up. But I mean, this is pretty much all it, most of what it had. And I have got riding it from Friday right through to Sunday now. I took it for a ride yesterday as well when I had to pick up some stuff, and I've done exactly from full charge on this 41 miles. I could probably still get another 2-3 miles, maybe even 5 miles off it, so I could probably get maybe 45 miles off it. But I'm actually quite happy with that, because I've ridden it right through like London, so all the riding I've done on it has been in the actual city, so there's been no like kind of country lanes or anything. And the thing about riding in London in general is that it obviously uses a lot more power, because I'm constantly stopping at lights, going over bridges, getting stuck behind cars and buses. So you're on and off the throttle a lot. And I haven't used when I'm pulling off at the lights, I will sometimes use the pedals just to give it a bit more power to start off with. But most of the time I'm using 100% of the throttle to get me right through. So obviously that's using like a lot more power than if I was just on a long stretch of road where I wasn't stopping. And the other thing is, there's been a lot of wind in London this week. It's almost the end of April, but it feels a lot like February, and I ride it along the canal a lot. And going into work, like riding to South London, it's been quite good. But every time I've come home, it's been like stormy with a bit of rain, and there's been a lot of headwind, so it's really taxed the battery a lot. So I think it's done quite well. Obviously Fiido claim you can get 70 or 80 miles just without pedal assist, and with pedal assist 125 miles or something. I didn't get that, but obviously I think in the right conditions you probably would be able to get that. And I think even in London, if it was the right conditions, I could probably get 50 miles off it, maybe even 55, which is it's pretty good for like a little bike, even though it's got a large battery. I'm happy with that. I fitted these. One of the worst things is it's a little bit hard to turn around and see what's behind you. It's creaking my neck a bit, so I fitted these mirrors here, and they work quite well. They're not perfect. It's really, really hard to get a decent mirror for your bike that I found, because they just don't come out far enough. So you can see they're, I would like them out at least another 2 inches would be really, really good, and that would give you proper visibility behind you. But they're not bad. They once you get them set up in the right place, you can get almost you can see behind you enough to make sure that there's no cars there when you're pulling out or need to turn or go left or go right. But apart from that, this bike has done me really well. So it was costing me £70 a week to go right through central London. And obviously I didn't buy a travel card this week. I've used it everywhere. I took it to Sainsbury's yesterday shopping. I just wheeled it into the store and carried the basket. And then I had to fix a tap there yesterday as well. So I went and I took it to B&Q, rode it to B&Q, took it into B&Q, went and bought some parts to fix a tap and everything. So it's really been, it's been fantastic. It saved me a lot of money, just in 1 week. So if I can keep, if it doesn't break down and nothing happens to it within the next 2 to 3 months, this bike will pay for itself. so it's been worthwhile, and it's quite a stable little thing to ride. I've ridden other bikes that are, you know, I would say more stable than this, because it has have, you know, very small wheels on it. They're only 14-inch, but it's not that bad. And it, you know, the brakes, even though they're the standard brakes on it, they work really, really well. Like, you can lock the back wheel up on it quite easily if you need to. You know, there's been a couple of times when cars have pulled out and people have like walked out, you know, in front of me and stuff, and I've had to, like, you know, slam on the brakes just to make sure I didn't hit anybody or anything. But yeah, so that's my first week with the Fiido L3. I'm going to get the brakes, I'm going to get a new set of brakes for it next week as well. So hopefully when I do another update, I usually try and do them on Sundays or maybe Saturdays, but when I do an update next week, hopefully I'll have a new set of brakes on it, which will make it a little bit better as well. And this lock I've got actually fits quite well. You can put the lock right through the battery, right through here, and then right through here and through, and then you can lock it up. So it's quite a good position for the battery, because you can, where they've positioned it, because you can lock up the battery and the bike together, because the battery is the most expensive part of the bike. So yeah, so if you've got to the end of this video, thanks for watching and everything, and it would really help the channel if you would like and subscribe, and check in every week or every couple of weeks when I do these videos to see how this bike's going. I will be letting, you know, this isn't like a review type video of it, but obviously, you know, I'll be riding it every day to work, and so if something, you know, if I do start having problems with this bike and you're thinking about getting the same bike, at least you will know, you know, whether to buy a bike like this, or, you know, the things you need to watch out for. One of the things that I did look at online is with some of the other Fiido models, is when the electrics get wet. I think it's the controller. When the controller gets wet, sometimes it'll cut the motor out, it'll cut the electrics out. Like I said before, every day this week, basically, there's been like a little bit of rain. It hasn't been really, really heavy like torrential rain, but it's just been some cases spitting, and other cases it's been a bit harder, and I've kind of pulled over under you know, a tree or under a building or something just to stop it. But I haven't had any problems with the electrics at all, apart from the horn not working. The light works on it fine, and I did another